What's your topic?
Should activists be protected by the law?
When you're ready.
Every day, I travel to work on my farm for the same reasons you work, to earn a living for your family. Chances are, though, your workplace is relatively peaceful, and you're not frequently disturbed by outsiders. This used to be the case for me and my fellow farmers, until we began being harassed by this cult known as vegan activists. Now, along with harming us, they've begun wreaking havoc on the streets of Melbourne and other major cities across Australia, disrupting the lives of yourselves, and in turn, wasting some of society's most valuable resources in the police. So, I urge you to listen to me today about why these extremists should no longer be protected by the law. Firstly, as mentioned before, some extremists take it so far to the point that they invade the property and/or workplace of some farmers, including myself. For obvious reasons, this is highly unethical, considering that the farm is not only our passion, but our livelihoods as well, where we make money and provide for our families. In the past year alone, I've had 4 separate encounters that I know of vegan activists trespassing onto my property, causing havoc, making a mess, and ultimately stealing. Likewise, a couple of months ago, a cafe by the name of the Gippy Goat Cafe was forced to permanently close due to what they felt was constant harassment by abusive vegan activists. According to a press release by the store, they stated that they believed the environment was no longer safe for employees due to the constant threats they'd received daily, and also claimed in a separate December post, 70 activists intruded their farm and stole multiple animals. So, not only are activists disrupting the lives of farmers, they're forcing businesses to close permanently due to safety concerns. So I ask, at what point do we draw a line and conclude that this is no longer just activism, this is extremism? Secondly, as if invading the hard-earned property of others isn't enough, it's starting to boil over into the streets of major cities as well, disrupting the community and the busy lives of yourselves. As recently as a couple months ago, there were wild protests in Melbourne CBD with a reported 100+ people in attendance, 38 of which were arrested, with many of them having to be carried off the streets as they were that stubborn, according to TheGuardian.com. In the wake of protests, Scott Morrison labelled them un-Australian green criminals, and the leader of the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party, Robert Borsak, has called for them to be jailed. Yet, still no action has been taken. It's no secret that the streets of Melbourne CBD are a busy place and notorious for accidents and traffic pile-ups to occur. Not only does protesting potentially hinder people from getting to somewhere urgent, it also increases the likelihood of potential accidents, according to a French website, the local.fr. Over a staggering 1,700 people were injured, to some extent, over protests that spanned just 11 weeks in France. Is that figure really something we want to replicate here in Australia? Finally, while we're all busy people, I'm sure it's nothing compared to that of the police and their duties, who are always dealing with important situations daily. Unfortunately, as these activists are invading abattoirs and protesting, this takes away some of the police's valuable time, which could have been dedicated to much more serious issues. What if someone was legitimately in danger and weren't able to access police in a timely manner due to them having to waste their time with protests? While on this day it reportedly wasn't necessary, what if emergency services such as ambulances, the fire department or the police were required for someone in desperate need or danger and access to them was delayed because protests were blocking the streets? Think to yourself, would you rather have the police be carrying protesters off the streets like little children refusing to go to bed, or instead having them preventing crimes? Ultimately, a much harsher penalty needs to be implemented when activists of any kind take their beliefs into their own hands and behave in extreme ways. Whether that's threatening, trespassing and stealing, or blocking off streets and in turn wasting some of our most valuable resources' time, all of it could be stopped if we were to implement actual repercussions.